So how can you get the maximum points in the audits and QIP section of the ophthalmology portfolio in the UK? So when I myself first started in the UK on my journey to become a doctor, working in the UK and practicing in ophthalmology, I was so confused about how to go about the process of doing QIPs and audits, especially because it held so many points for the ophthalmology portfolio. Before coming to UK, I was working in the UAE, where the junior doctors were not heavily involved in the audit and QIP projects. But now suddenly, as soon as I had come to the UK, I was expected to do well and actually do impactful QIP and audit projects. But over the years, I learned how to do this, and I learned how to make good audit projects, and finally submitted one that was good for the portfolio towards ophthalmology. And today I will teach you how to get the maximum points you can in the audits and QIP section of the portfolio. As always, at the end of this video, I will share some bonus tips which will make your life a bit more easier. Try and get these points. So stick around till the end if you want to know what to do. And like my previous videos on the portfolio, I will be sharing tips and tricks from my own portfolio and evidences that I used myself, so that you can get sort of an example of what to do for yourself as well. So to begin with, I will initially discuss with you what this video is going to be about and how we'll break down this whole process. The maximum points you can get from this section are 5, and to get each point you have to do something specific. To start with, what's important to understand is you can only include your best audit in the ophthalmology portfolio. You cannot include 2, 3, 4. You only have to use your best audit. And how do you choose your best audit? You choose the audit which meets all the 5-point criteria mentioned in the evidence folder. So to begin with, let's talk about what do you need to do to get each of the 5 points in this section. Starting with 0 points. You get 0 points if you don't include any projects in this portfolio, if that's by mistake, if that's intentional. If you don't include anything in this section, you will not get any points. Next, we talk about how to get that one initial point in this section. You get this point if you have only participated in an audit, and when you have given your evidences in the portfolio, you haven't really documented specifically exactly what you were doing in that audit. That gets you 1 point. But as 1 point is not what we need, let's keep going. Next, to get 2 points in the portfolio, you must have been involved in initiating that audit / QIP, and you were also involved in designing the audit as well. And when you provided the evidence for this, you must have included your role as being the initiator and the designer in the portfolio. That will get you 2 points. Next, we come to if you want to score 3 points. What more do you have to do? Now, as we go on to each and every point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, keep in mind that we will be adding things that you have to do extra, but everything before you must have still done. So for example, when we come to the second point, you must have still initiated and designed the project. Not only have you initiated and designed the audit / QIP project, but now you have also written up the quality improvement project, which basically means that you have made sure that you've written up the whole report on the aims, objectives, how did you implement the audit, how did you measure the findings that you needed for your audit, making a detailed report of everything that happened in the audit. Next, what if you wanted even more points? Let's say we want now go to getting 4 points in the audit section. What else do we have to do? You get 4 points in this section if you were now involved in also additionally doing the implementation strategy. So after the audit was done, you not only initiated the audit, you designed the audit, you wrote up the audit, and now you are implemented the action points of the audit. So let's say there was something planned at the end of the audit that, all right, these are our findings. Now we need to do this action to make some change, and you were directly involved in actioning that plan. Not only that, you must have also completed the loop of the project, which is all different ways of saying that you initially audited whatever you wanted to audit. You noticed that there was an area where you could have made a change. You make that change by actioning the action plan, and then you re-audit again to see if the action plan that you did made a difference or not. Whether it made a difference or not doesn't matter as much, but what matters is you being able to measure it. And this is called closing the loop on the audit. So making a change and then checking back again to see if that change actually made a significant difference or not, which is all fine. What matters is you documenting it. So you must be thinking, oh, you've done everything you could have with the audit. So what is the final 5 point requiring for you to do Well, to get the final 5 points, you must have additionally either published the audit somewhere. So let's say you published the audit findings in a journal or in a paper, or you implemented the QIP or audit supra-regionally, which means not just where you're working, elsewhere as well, which means that your audit has had quite an impact by itself. That's how you get all 5 points. You can see that they are all adding up together. One adds on to the previous one. Now let's get to the important notes. First, how do you evidence all of this when you're actually giving your evidence in the portfolio? First, you either upload the presentation slide from your presentation when you actually presented this audit to your department or at a conference, or you upload the text document, which is a summary of your audits, standards, outcomes, recommendations, a comprehensive report essentially. It will be either of these two. On top of that, they also require a letter from your supervising consultant in this audit, which explicitly confirms your specific role in this audit. So there is absolutely zero ambiguity about how much you were involved. Now let me give you examples of what I used. So I firstly used one letter from my supervisor, which clearly stated and highlighted my role in the audit. So there was no doubt about me meeting all the requirements in the portfolio. Number two, I used my hospital's audit certificate to also prove that I was directly involved and led this audit. And finally, I also uploaded the presentation slides from when I presented this audit in an international conference myself. So I left absolutely zero doubt about what the impact of my audit was, what my role in it was. Now here's a nice point also mentioned in the evidence folder, which I will always link down in the description below in case you want to go directly to the ophthalmology evidence folder to see what the college has given. The good thing that is mentioned there is that there can be modifications made to the points awarded to you and your portfolio's evidence of audits depending on the actual impact of your work and the quality of the audit, which means that you might not have maybe met exact criteria to get the 5 points for the audit. Let's say that your audit was not really done supra-regionally, it was only done within your department, but the impact was so great and it was such an important piece of work that they can still give you the 5 points you need for this section. So don't worry even if you have not published your audit or if you have not done it supra-regionally. As long as it's a very impactful audit, it can be oftentimes left to the discretion of your portfolio scoring team to see if they can give you the 5 points. But obviously, if you want to be very reassured and confident that you will get all 5 points before you even send it for scoring, then yes, you can be assured. If you have published it in a paper, if you have implemented your QIP supra-regionally, then you will get all 5 points. And finally, saying that if you are not leading the project, as I repeated initially, the maximum points you can get in this section is just 1. So you must lead the project and everything that comes after that. Now coming on to the bonus tips, thanks for hanging around. I will now give you some points which can probably make your life a bit easier to try and sort out these audits and QIP for you in the department. Firstly, from the start, before you even begin your audit project in your department, wherever you are, try and identify what sort of topic or audit you could do in the department to create significant change. Now I understand this sometimes can be not very clear, and this is why it is worth sitting with your educational supervisor or supervising consultant and trying and figuring out and brainstorming what could be the best project to do which could help you as well as help the department. Because your aim should be clear from the beginning, you need to have those 5 points. So anything that can help you get to that is good. Don't waste your time doing audits and QIPs, which from the beginning you know will not help you get those 5 points. Yes, it is good to do the audits and QIPs anyways, but since your time is limited and this portfolio is very competitive, try and be focused from the very beginning. And before you sit down with your supervisor to discuss these ideas, have some ideas ready from yourself. What this does is it shows your due diligence and it helps the supervisor also see that you are serious about this matter. So that's all for today. Thanks for hanging around. That's how you can score maximum points in the audits and QIP section, which is 5 marks. I myself have scored these 5 points and I want you to score these as well with the help of hopefully this video. If you would like to see my latest video, it's right over here. If you would like for me to keep making such videos about ophthalmology, about education in ophthalmology, make sure to leave your comments down in the comment section below where you can tell me what is it that you're actually interested in seeing moving forward. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to support what I do. And that's it for today. I will see you in the next video.